Okay, that's done. Wait, how do I... Oh no. Oh no, there we go. Woo! Okay, let's see. Oh no. Let's move this way. Let's start with the high wall. Oh, whoopsie. My bad. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Let's... Yeah, I think we need higher brightness. Here we go. Oh gosh, this is gonna be so awkward. Uh... Oh, whoopsie. I messed it up! Mm-hmm. Nope. Don't like it. Yeah, no. Hmm. Nope. Okay, I guess we'll come up here then. You lived? I'll be honest, that was the most surprising thing. Let's get these guys up here just in case. Yeah. Oh. There we go. Let's see. Yo! Hey, buddy. Oh. Oh, that's awkward. But that's not. So, uh-huh. Oh my god. What is this? Actual crouching mechanics, actual laydowns. I can actually go to a wall and just get the character out of the shot. What is this miracle? Hmm. Just to be safe. Yeah, I don't think this is necessary, but... Alright, that's one. Oh, where are the green blossoms? I should have looked that up in advance. Whoopsie. Okay, let's see what we got here. Green blossoms. Alright, so Dark Souls 3, Green Blossoms. High Wall of Lothric, 2 on the wooden balcony just above the large room with the many hollows and 2 dogs. Okay, that's the room in the barracks. On the way to the elevator shortcut where 5 hollows make ambush. Okay, I know where that is too. Okay, so we both... Okay, so we're going that way. Okay. Alright. Yep, okay. Where shall... No, wait, this isn't the way. This is not the way at all. I don't think we updated that shortcut, right? We skipped that. Oh. Yeah, pretty sure we skipped that. Well, the gate's open. And the thing's up here, so... Well, time to loot, I guess. Okay, so there's one. Well... Oh, no. You know... Do I even have it? Yeah, I have it equipped. I'm just blind. Oh, that was pathetic. That is so pathetic. And this is why we don't use the combustion spell, kids. God, with that stupid plant in the way, too. Oh, it's ruined anyway, so we gotta reset. Howdy! Hey, Xavier. Hey, Pokemon. Hiya. How you guys doing? What's this stream about? Getting screenshots today. Because I might want to add some stuff to my Faron analysis that I didn't include before. Ouch. Let's see. There we go. Do you know when you're gonna stream the Dark Souls 1 lore play again? I'm hopefully gonna start again tomorrow. We'll have to see how that works out, but that is the plan. Okay. Let's do this. There we go. That is the plan, because I do want to get back to that, finish it up. I want to go fight Nito and Seath already. Not looking forward to the DLC as much, but hey, might not be so bad for a bandit with a knife. A reformed criminal. Hmm. Alright. There we go. Hey, man, good to see you. How you doing? Ooh. Oh, no. And the other one is by the barracks, right, with the dogs, so we can go this way. Ooh. Ooh. Bye-bye. Howdy, folks. Ow. Hey, I'm invisible. Stop. Oh. Oh gosh, it's right above. Okay, fine. That's how you want to be. Oh, oh. Well. Oh. I didn't need to do that anyway. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Struggling with Blasphemous? Oh. A lot of people seem to be playing that. I guess it makes sense. I hear it's very Souls-like. Though, I'll be honest, I don't know how Souls-like you can be with a 2D game, which I believe that's what Blasphemous is like. Am I wrong? There we go, more green blossoms. Okay, so this is the other one. Gotcha. Oh, I love that. There we go. Hmm. Wait, why am I using a controller? I have a mouse. This isn't Bloodborne, Loki. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Therefore, if I must... let's see. So that's golden pine resin, green blossoms covered. Anything else I could be missing? Hey, Guts, good to see ya. Nowadays, you could just use Google Maps to get to the Ring City. Man, technology. Back in my day, we used to have to take a Batwing Demon through this thing called downloadable content. But now you kids just use Google. Well, I could say Hollow Knight's pretty close. Oh, that's interesting. I have heard something similar for Hollow Knight, but it doesn't come up as much anymore. I guess it's just gotten old as a game. Hey, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, so let's see. I got that covered. Is there anything else I could possibly want for my upcoming Faron thing? No, we just... Oh, well, we want the gold coin stuff. That's right. Okay, so we'll go do this. We want the coins. And I don't think I've opened the shortcut yet, so that's perfect, because I might need that shortcut closed for the shot. Yeah, okay. Wait. Wait. Wait a second. Chat? I'm noticing a problem here. Can you guess what my problem is? Do you have any idea? Can you guess what, my little hindrance, my little, wrinkle in my grand plan is right now? I don't have the undead settlement. I haven't rested at a single bonfire at the undead settlement. I just rushed all the way through without needing to. Straight to Road of Sacrifices. Oh boy. Well. Well now. I guess we're gonna have to rectify that. Nothing I want from up here, right? No, still undead settlement there. Still old, outdated Arch Dragon Peak there. Still crazy town off in the distance there. Cathedral, ocean, river, which you surprisingly can't see from Irithyll. No, no. No. Yep. Nothing comes to mind. Okay. Will you play Hollow Knight? Its sequel should be coming out soonish. I'm not really interested, to be honest. Sith. What did you? Oh, that sounds like a problem. Yeah, that does sound like a problem. It's like, how am I supposed to get around here? You want to play Elder Souls? Elder Souls. Man, are you serious? Is that actually a game? Did someone actually be like, okay, it's the creators of Elden Ring and Dark Souls. What do we call our title? Elder Souls. Perfect. They can't possibly sue us for that. Nope. Oh. Okay, you can stay there forever. Yeah, nothing we want there. Just let's go straight for the gold coin. Elder Souls was before that. Oh, are you talking about Elder Scrolls? Is that what you mean, Man? Elder Scrolls I know about. If the question is, am I going to play Elder Scrolls then on stream? I don't know. I could. To be honest, I'm interested in that that mod that's coming out in a few years, Skyblivion. But that's, again, a few years off, so... It's been a while since I played Oblivion, so... Playing it in, like, Skyrim would be kind of neat. Yeah, we want to go this way. There we go. I could just go past them. Oh. Okay. This isn't the item, is it? Well, no, this is coming after me at least. No, that's Titanite Shard. Okay, no one cares. We have to go a little farther. Oh. People actually surviving my hits. Oh. What's our level up? Yeah, that's not happening. Oh, right. I still have to do farming. I have to do farming for like a bunch of souls I lost, right? Because I lost like 80k or something. I forget. Yeah, I'll have to do that later. We'll do that like at the end of the stream once I've done everything else. I just want to relax. Oh. Yeah, that's Titanite Shard. Don't care. We want to go here. Yeah, there's the thing. God, I don't remember. Oh. Well, that sucks. Is it here? No, the door's still closed. That's perfect, though. I mean, if you want me to kill you, I don't mind. Oh. Well, that was embarrassing. Let's see. No Skyrim. Skyrim is toxic. I'll be honest. I don't hate playing Skyrim or anything, but I will agree. Skyrim's one of those games that feels like I wouldn't call it like soul sucking, but it's one of those things that feels so bland and generic and like just like no highs or lows to it whatsoever. Like you feel like you waste like 300 hours in that, and you feel like nothing got accomplished at all. Just feels like it is busy work, passing the time. Which is a shame, because there's a lot of nice, cool stuff that Bethesda did for Skyrim. It just, I don't think it comes together as a final product that well. There we go, so rusted coins. Something like that could work, but let's try something more like this. There we are. Also, we can fix that. There we go. I don't need that shield in the way. Gotta have all those Velka references in order. What amused me is that Blasphemous have Light of the Seven as a soundtrack. Light of the Seven, huh? I don't get the reference. I guess maybe Seven Deadly Sins reference? I took a break from my playthrough of Blasphemous, and now I'm currently playing Gravity Rush 2. Oh, Gravity Rush is like a really quirky game. That must be fun. Why is there no poise in Dark Souls 3? Morrowind is good. Well, yeah, we're not... Morrowind, yeah. Morrowind's good. I feel like Morrowind's slightly overrated, personally. But yeah, it's good. Again, I say overrated not to say that's bad, but like literally to say that you know, just way too many people sing its praises way too hard. Like it's a good game, don't get me wrong, but it's like holy hell. You can get off the yeah, I'm not going to finish that sentence. Live the 7 is orchestral piano piece in the HBO series Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, okay. That's why it is. See, the thing is I'm not a music buff, so even for like series where I like listening to music too, I tend to not pay attention to the song titles. Like, I couldn't even tell you if Dark Souls songs have actual names or they're just named after their bosses or something. I should probably know that though, huh? Just in case there might be lore there, huh? Okay, I think that covers it for this. Yeah, let's just do some farming to make up for lost souls. Okay. I think the best place to farm right now is Lothric Castle, right? So... The second one is much better than the first one, and the first is bad, but still. From Guts. Souls of Cinder is an amalgamation of Chosen Undead. Yeah, basically. It's a bunch of Fire Linkers put together. Including the Chosen Undead, Bearer of the Curse, etc. Thank you. Let's see. There we go. Thank you, buddy. I love you. I appreciate you. You're wonderful. Glorious. Thank you. I swear stairs! Oh, that was embarrassing. I swear stairs, they destroy these backstab systems every time. It doesn't matter if it's visceral attacks in Bloodborne or backstabs in Dark Souls. It's always the damn stairs. Feels like it should be so easy to account for elevation on staircases, but what do I know? I'm not a coder. Thank you, buddy. Oh god, you're actually tough. Woo! There's no one else that's worth killing here, right? Yeah, okay. Back for another stream. Hey, Vans, welcome. You got to the farming part of the stream. Let's see. What other screenshots could I possibly want? Probably Ariandel wouldn't be half bad. I do need to start working on that again, because the analysis for that, I just started working on it today, along with so many other things. By the way, I apologize to anyone on my Discord for spamming you with announcements. I had so many little updates to do to a bunch of different posts on the website. Bunch of cool little interesting stuff, especially involving bandit armor. Must have been the wind. Just stabbed through my gut. Really biting cold air today. Oh no. I clearly don't have enough stamina. I demand Bloodborne levels of stamina. Yeah, we'll do one more round. I think that should be more than enough of whatever I lost during that last stream. When is Loki DS3 Dark Souls 3 stream not a farming stream? Listen, I do stuff other than farm, okay? I just don't talk about it. There we go. Now let's see, besides Ariandel, though, what could I need for screenshots left? Gosh, I guess I could start prepping for Londor. I guess? I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna need to ask people in the modding scene to help give me good shots for Londor, because I feel like most of the ones I'd want to get in-game that isn't, like, item graphics or something would be, like, the Pilgrim Butterflies. And I think I already got some good shots of those, to be honest. I don't know who you buff, but I don't care. Here. Thank you. Thank you for that Sunlight Medal. Oh, you buffed yourself. Ay, pobrecito. Guten Tag. Oh. Oh my. And buonanotte. Yay. Alright, I think this should be enough. Let's get to Ariandel. Charm Buffar. Loki tending the crops. Yep, John, exactly. Just gotta make sure that I have a nice, good harvest. Praying to Guinevere every day. Big booba mama. Please. Let me have great yields on this fine day, this fine farming season. Speaking of Guinevere, anything we can get from Arena? No, I think we're fine for now. As long as I don't talk to you, you seem to be stuck here, so you know what? I'm gonna just keep you stuck there. Same with you. Same with you. Yeah, all of you are where I want you, so. Wait, actually, has Yuri appeared yet? She's kind of key to the whole. Yeah, she's shown up. Oh, wait, I've already talked to you. Okay, sure. I guess I did that last stream and I don't remember. Also, I shouldn't need to do this. Cathedral? Okay, sure. The stamina in Bloodborne is broken as fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Stamina in Bloodborne is like... It's like stamina in Elden Ring. It's like, why would you ever want to level it up unless you absolutely need to? Or you're like me and you're like, but you can always have more. I don't think I've touched stamina in Elden Ring at all. And when you start upgrading your stamina in Bloodborne, you're like, oh my god, I am just dodging constantly. Yuria got the Kanehurst helmet. Yeah, I love her design. It's... I just... I don't know. Whoever did that, it was perfect. Miyazaki said he created bosses after based off other game devs. He created bosses after based on other game devs. After what, Guts? That's the part of your statement I don't quite understand. Big Mommy Guinevere, listen. Listen. We all need a maternal and loving goddess in our lives. Don't you agree? It's like a sin if you don't. Oh. I somehow survived that. You know what? I hate this guy in particular, so... Let me get my revenge real quick. That was cathartic. Okay, moving on. Ugh. Hey, buddy. Gonna just leave you there. Sure, why not? I swear, it feels like every time I'm like, huh, let me loot... Oh, right. Do I need to go anywhere else for any reason that I would want to open this door? I feel like I wanted to have a shot with this door closed, and I don't remember if I ever got it. So let's do that now. Let me just be safe here. Oh, he's not down there. Alright, Dumb and Dumber. Oh. Thank you. Ah, darn it. A useless item. Yeah, nothing else to get from there. Okay, let's get this. Oh. Don't burn your soul. I need it to level. Yeah, now we're almost there, but not quite. There we go. This should do it. Oh. Nope, that feels wrong. Yeah, that feels a little off too. Okay, let's try this. I mean, I guess. Still not 100% sold. But I'm not the person who designed this area, so it's asymmetrical. Death the Kid is gonna come after me for it. Who cares? That could work, though. Alright, well, if I'm gonna regret opening this door, it'll be later.
Not at the cost of my sanity. Okay, I am. Uh, I was about to laugh and and add it to the list. Well, add what to the list? What are we laughing at? What is the craziest fan theory you've ever heard? Oh, oh gosh, John, that's what's the craziest fan theory I've ever heard? Okay, there's one theory that was brought to my attention, and I want to just say this: the person was completely well-meaning. They were honest. They don't think they were a bad person or anything like that. Yada yada yada. All the disclaimers. But I won't lie. At first I was very open to the ideas that they were putting forth because I'm always interested in like applying new data or things that you can incorporate that's solid and tangible, but it works for my analysis, blah blah blah, right? I'm always trying to add stuff. But as the person went on, it just got more and more unhinged. And basically it's I don't know what you call it, like shape theory or something. Basically it's the idea of trying to take, like, say this is a diamond within a circle, and it's at four corners here, right? Like, well, obviously this thing's under the staircase, but you know what I mean. Like, everyone's seen this design around Profane Capital and Cathedral and all that, right? And the idea is that and then the big circle with the diamond inside of it there, and all of that basically has like this symbolism or stuff. And I would not lie, I thought that it was kind of a bunch of hanky-panky bogus. But I was willing to hear the person out and listen to them as they were telling me about this, because like I said, could always be something interesting brought up. But then they brought up this idea that Prince Lothric had to have been secretly affiliated with Londor, and the reason for it was because it was like he was just like full out, like he was like a secret agent of Londor or some shit, right? And the reason being given, it wasn't like the feathers in his room or like the pilgrim butterflies flying around or anything like that. You think, okay, well that's at least like a reasonable statement prima facie if that's your like basis. But no, it was the fact that when you looked at the door that Prince Lothric has, with all those statues of like a high priestess, a knight, a priest praying like along the center, if you looked at like these little design parts here, you looked really, really closely, you could see a tiny image which very vaguely looks like the sword of a vowel. And that was the reason. That little tiny squiggle shape. And I laughed. I wouldn't lie. I stored it and I laughed at to his face. It was face, over DMs, but like I couldn't help myself. That was just such an absolutely ridiculous take. Like I was so astonished. I legit couldn't believe it. I just had to laugh. Like there was just no other way I could react to that. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, that has to be the theory that really just threw me for a loop there. Not because of the theory itself per se, but just the basis for why. I was just like, okay, we're now on full like tinfoil hat alien conspiracy theory territory here. You falling off the ladder if you died. Oh, I see. You were about to add it to the list. Oh my god, Xavier. You're keeping a list? Oh no. Oh no. Like, watch, someone's gonna like take a bunch of clips of me falling at the beginning of all my streams like within the first hour and just be like posting it and sending it to me. Oh my god. I can see it now. That's hilarious. I'm the fan. My favorite fan theory is that Lautrec was the real chosen undead. The evidence is there. I'm the fan. That, well, Vens, he was the real undead hero. No matter what, he's the undead hero in our hearts. I'm gonna become the Alex Jones of Dark Souls and come up with all sorts of crazy stuff. But then you have to be proven right 10 years down the line when it actually happens. Anyway, on to more serious stuff. Yeah, blah, 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 we don't care. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, sure. Sure. Uh-huh. Like Adar the Bloodborne elevator? I was talking with someone about how the Death Root got on Farum Azula, and apparently their take was, after eating Death Root, Garank's crumbs got left up there. That. No, that has to be okay, Joel. Well, first off, welcome. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat. Second off, you have to be kidding me. That has to not be a serious take. That has to be someone who's being facetious, right? Like, I refuse to believe that anyone could say that's a serious theory. There we go. Never trust a man who prays to Velka, chat. You never know what the hitch is. There's always some sort of snag, some sort of hang up, some little clause between the lines. There we go. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Don't care for you. This just has the Rhine Blue Moss Clump. We don't care to grab that. Picture spam. Yeah, I gotta make sure I get it in case I need it for the analysis. I give people the benefit of the doubt. It makes life easier. Ugh. Let's see, what was the first thing I wanted to get? I'm trying to remember. Oh, right, back at the Corvian village, so, okay, we can rush over there. Oh. Pardon me, coming through. First off, we want a shot of you. Really? Really? Stupid tree. The trees are still... Oh. No! Oh, no. This is not the situation I wanted to be in. We will come back later! Stupid tree woman, why are you so important to the lore? Ree! Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're Tiny Wolf. Thank you, Wolfie. The wolves are smart. They don't eat them undead flesh. Wait a second. Okay, I was about to say, is the door not loaded in from this angle? Like, oh boy. I was gonna have some choice words for the game there. I don't like that ladder there. That annoys me. See, the enemies, I can understand not loading in the Corvians from back here, but like... The actual door, it's like, come on, man. Yeah, and the Corvians just pop in, gotcha. Alright, let's get to the library. Loki, if you were the chosen undead, would you rekindle the flame or leave things in dark? Remember, you're a human, so the dark makes more sense. Well, Guts, I feel like you might be leading me on there. But yeah. I say in my position, like, I stay in my position, I'm somewhat more neutral in Abyssal Archive. I try to give the Age of Fire ending
supporters their fair shake. But yeah, I would agree. I don't see any in the context of the Dark Souls universe. I see no logical argument for, and I should say no rational argument for why you should pick the Age of Fire. No, assuming of course you have met Koth, you have heard his revelations, you have thought over and been familiar with the world and all that stuff. I just don't think the Age of Fire argument checks out. God, you guys are so loud. Make me have to turn down my volume. Alright, we're gonna leave that closed. Hey, buddy. Bye, buddy. Okay, there we go. Again, that's the problem with this controller. Gotta pop out the analog stick to actually get it to work. Lord Gwyn is the pygmy. Oh my god, John's already starting with the crazy theories. He's building his repertoire. He wants to make sure he has a huge library of batshit insane takes. Boy. Alright, we got that set up in case I die somehow. Alright. Now we're gonna just cheat our way into the library. Well, there's the tree woman, but God, it really is crazy how easy it is. You can navigate through these areas if you really want to speedrun. Thank you. Those are the gold coins, so we can loot those. Hey, Velka coins. And then there's you. I could swear there was two of you. But hey, I'm okay with just one. Yeah, that'll do. Gotta love the snow appearing out of the wall like that. There we go. Alright, so that's done. Ow. Extendo limbs, huh? Oh. Oh, right, you also have a breath attack. You don't just have the grab attack breath. I gotta remember that, too. Good. Thank goodness I don't do all this stuff off of memory, and I actually double-check my data. I already have enough stuff I have to always go back and revise with my analysis with new stuff. I don't need to worry about getting old stuff wrong. Oh. 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 Thank you. Only 800. Ree.
So I guess we can go back to farming. Okay, what other screenshots do I want to get for Ariandel? I guess we could get the church with the thing closed. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Do it while the door's closed. Again, I gotta remember to... Gotta remember to not open all this crap when I come back here for more screenshots. Gotta make sure to try to keep this place as preserved as possible. You know, barring the item looting. Barring the mandatory item looting. We don't want to go in there because we're going to trigger Wilhelm. Okay, anything else that we want from this spot? No. There's a well here. Now we can get that anytime. Let's see. Gwendolyn is Ness. Velka is Guinevere. Gwendolyn was the real illusion created by the real Guinevere, who's actually Gwyn, but actually was all a dream, and the chosen undead just stayed in the asylum. You know what? I could totally imagine that everything in the Dark Souls universe is just the chosen undead having a really bad fever dream. Like he caught syphilis or some shit, and he's just like, I don't know, having a terrible, terrible time in his prison cell. Always make sure to clean out your shit buckets when you go to prison, kids. Oh, yeah. No, I don't really care for that. Also, wait. That ain't just magically disappeared up that staircase. Speaking of, is that an item over there? That is. Oh, look, the enemy just came back. Funny how that works. You're gonna disappear if I'm at this range, buddy? No, you aren't. Oh, but now you will. Oh, yay. Okay, so what do we see here? Okay, so we have all these rock... I'm pretty sure these are the same, like, rock stuff you see in, these rock assets that you see in, what's it called? These are the same rock assets you see in, around, like, you know, Far On, Road of Sacrifices, stuff like that. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, these are the same model things used, right? They're just retextured with an ice, thing. Again, it's hard to tell if these are supposed to be rocks that happen to be frozen over, or if the idea is that this is, like, actual, like, ice crystals. Because this is a frozen river. Now, we have a, the well right there, which gives us the idea that, hey, there's water beneath here. Which makes sense. The only problem is, well, we have this super lower elevation here. Right? And this low elevation has, you know, flowers and stuff, but not water. Which has me curious. So, like, what's... I get it's a painting world, so it doesn't necessarily have to make sense, but, like, what's the logic for where this entire river comes from? I guess it's some sort of spring beneath the earth here, would be the idea. That got frozen, I suppose. I know that there's a fan-made game, Life and Lies of Gwendolyn. That'd be interesting. Life and Lies of Gwendolyn, huh? What is it, like just day-to-day life of growing up as of Gwyn's least favorite kid? I had a fan theory that the broken Archstone in Demon Souls was the world of Dark Souls. To be honest, it may as well be, right? Like, we're never getting that Archstone anyway, so imagine it whatever you want. Dark Souls was all a dream by Miyazaki. That is accurate. That's just fact. Miyazaki dreamed up Dark Souls, and well, that was that.
Yeah, it has to be the same thing, right? Because this is the same rock textures here, right? And this is just like snow covered, and that one's just retextured to look like shiny ice crystal. So again, my interpretation of this, looking at this, would be like, oh, this could be ice crystal. But then I see stuff like this with the frozen branches and stuff here, and I'm like, wait, that isn't ice crystal though, right? Like that's supposed to see these. That's supposed to see legitimate branches like these. So this could just be frozen over. Gotta think that through. Also, I'm kind of curious, are these actual things in real life, these little, like, ice spike stuff that's sticking out? Like, is that a natural phenomenon? Because if so, I need to look it up and understand it better, possibly. Like, ice stalactites, like, that makes sense, right? Like, water drips and stuff from these, like, cave overhangs. Because, you know, it's a valley. Valley's gonna have, like, water and rain dumping as well, and, well, in this case, snow, but you know what I mean. As well as, like, the water from below, so... The broken archstone leads to the mountain of giants. Yeah, that's accurate too. I thought you guys were gonna give me crazy theories. No. That broken leads to the land between mountaintops. The land between the mountaintops? Oh. Between the mountaintops, hey? Let's see. Oh. That's funny. Someone forgot to put all the rock stuff everywhere. It's like, I was gonna see it from that angle. Whew. Gosh, I'm tired. Oh. There's Priscilla's tower. Okay, yeah. And we can see the transition. Okay, so these have to be normal rocks then. And they just happen to be covered in ice because of the elevation, right? Because look over here. You can see the branches, and as it goes down, they get covered in ice like that. So there's this idea that, yeah, it's definitely not something that's all natural. When I get to, I gotta remember when I go to that area to take a shot of these there. Because that's definitely going to be important. Sorry about the yawning, chat. Okay. So village church, village library. Faron assets being reused, but that's fine, no one cares. Already know about the statues, don't need to review that. Yeah, nothing else I can say about this church here. Nothing I can say about here. Except maybe I could take a shot of this. I don't need to, though. I know there's weird stuff with blizzards and the shape snow will take, so maybe I can't recall anything. Okay, Xavier. I'll try to do some independent research then into it and see if there's if maybe that turns up something. If not, I mean, it's not the most important thing that sticks out to me, so it could be something I could just always save for later in case someone else points it out. The archstone leads to Verdite. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. That's a Kingsfield reference, right? If I recall correctly. Is it true Bloodborne was initially Demon Souls 2? Hey, Lou Reed. I don't recall if you've been in the chat before, but welcome. Let's see. Yes and no. Yes, in that I think, if I recall correctly, Demon Souls 2 was actually the name that it was called at one point really early on. But as far as we can tell, and as far as I can see, there was never a time where I was like, okay, we're gonna make Demon Souls 2. It's more like, hey, we're coming back to Sony for the first time. They want us back after making Demon Souls, right? And obviously Namco Bandai poached FromSoft for Dark Souls, which Sony felt like, Sony was like, oh, we have egg on our face now because we didn't put the proper faith into Demon Souls that we should have, right? That whole debacle. So yeah, it became, it wasn't a thing where I think they ever seriously considered, like, hey, let's make a sequel to Demon Souls, but they didn't have an idea on what to call their game for the longest time, so they had a bunch of different names for it. It was like Demon Souls 2, I think there was another prototype name that Acer Aesthetics told me, which I won't share for confidentiality reasons. There was Project Beast, like, just one of those things where it's like, they gotta kind of work through the development process and the conceptual stage and figure out, hey, what's this game actually going to be about. But hey, we were gonna have a lot more Demon Souls references in Bloodborne at one point. It would have been cool to have like Umbasa and something be a thing in the Healing Church, but c'est la vie. Yeah, Kingsfield. Perfect. I actually remember because I did for Acer Aesthetics Kingsfield video. He went to me asking for like translations of some of the, I can't remember if it was website stuff or like game manual crap or something. But he basically sent a bunch of stuff for me to check the Japanese text and see if there's anything worthwhile mentioning for the narrative or stuff. And I did that, and I remember Verdite being the name of a place. I think it's like the Kingdom or something in one of the games. What time zone are you in? EST, Pokemon. EST. It is nighttime here. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I think we got everything I can get from this angle, right? Village. Nothing really to say about the village. I mean, I guess it's kind of notable how there's all these towering buildings, but I'm not sure if that's relevant. I mean, I guess you could say, hey, they're birds. They build things vertically, but they don't really do anything, like, interesting or notable with this, or at the very least the game doesn't depict it, so I don't know if that's actually worth pointing out. I guess you could also say that, like, watchtowers, because they're constantly on the lookout for outsiders and people who could hurt them. Maybe? I guess? Kinda? Who's got a shot of that? With that door. There we go. Oh, what's wrong, controller? You okay? There we go. Americans, they stupid standards. They're stupid standards. I agree. I demand that my time zone be whatever is not sleeping hour. Why do we need sleep? It's useless. Absolutely pointless. I don't see a single good reason why we should sleep. I should be able to work an extra 8 hours all the time, so that way I can actually get ahead in life. Clearly. On a more serious note, I am going to probably end things soon, because before I, collapse from exhaustion or some shit. Ice stalagmites might form when water vapor in the cave environment freezes or when surface water enters the cave via cracks or openings on the surface, falls on the cave floor, and freezes to form an ice stalagmite. But would that work in a valley is the question. Because a gorge isn't necessarily like a cave per se. So I'm not sure if the same thing applies, but that's definitely interesting in its own right. Yeah, Verdite is the kingdom that Seath controlled its king. Okay, gotcha. Best I could find in a short amount of time. Again, thank you so much for the help, Xavier. I'll do the rest of my own just to make sure that just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And again, if nothing of note comes up, I guess we can always wait until someone else points it out to me. Again, that's the nice thing about having the Discord. You guys can always use that missing data, the little missing data channel to kind of just inform me in case it's like, hey, Loki, you forgot to mention this, or hey, this might be worth adding to it. You guys are doing great when you, like, inform me of typos and stuff, by the way. I always appreciate it. Because, it's a lot of reading what I do, and I've read my content so many times before I post it on the website that I just... After a certain point, you can't read that thing without your brain filling in any of the mistakes in for you and correcting them. So it's like, goodness me. So yeah, you guys help a lot with that. Let's see. Okay. Anything in the snowfield that we want to get? I think I finally have a good theory on the ruins there in the snowfield, so I think we're fine there. At least as far as I can take the theory that. I guess there's still a question of the bell, right? Is the bell found behind the library here? For here, like, is this the bell tower? Or is this the bell tower? Gosh, where is the... This might be the bell tower. I wonder if a modder can look at that building better and give me kind of a better idea of its structure and stuff. Because that looks like that could be... That looks like that could be designed to house a bell. And that would make sense, right? And like the bell's like tossed over here on the side. Because you have to keep in mind, the forest behind the library is also technically beside the little chapel church thing up there. Then... Where is the painter? Is she there in that little archway area? Is that where the window to her thing is? Because I always thought it was higher up. But I don't think that tower is long enough for her little painting space, right? Like her little attic space she's got up there. What I meant naming of Est. Oh, EST. I think EST's fine, but then again, I'm American. I do great when I post hilarious memes. I agree, John. You've been on a roll lately with finding stuff that makes me laugh. Let's see. Okay, so I got that covered, I think. Let's go back to the other place then, so we get a better look at that tower. Nope. Oh yeah, gonna be posting Ariandel within the next few months, chat. That's gonna be fun. Also, there's a lot of you guys in the chat today. Oh my goodness. A late night stream for Dark Souls 3? Not even like a serious like let's play or lore play, just me like getting screenshots and doing some data collection for my next thesis. Wow. Okay, so from up here, this definitely looks like a bell could be there, but there's no bell. All right, there it is. Okay, yeah, that's the window where the painter is. So that's her painting room. So that tower has to be the bell tower. Okay. So it's not this one for sure then. It's not used in the library. Also, I just realized how silly that looks. Just sticking up out there. There's that watchtower. So here's my current thought, chat. This watchtower is like was actually designed to be like a signal tower. So the ruins there were like a fort or an outpost. Like you could kind of think of it as like a border town. It was made so people who enter the village, enter the painting, like us, we go through the painting and we appear in the middle of the snowfield, right? Specifically in that cave. They would act as like a checkpoint in order to kind of like screen for people. And if there was ever anyone violent or anything, they could always launch a signal which would alert the church here, so that way they could prepare the village in advance for what was coming. Obviously, as far as we're aware, it never had to be used that way, but just kind of trying to get a sense of how did all of this stuff work when everything was, you know, not in the tyranny of Elfrida territory. We got the Corvians from the outside world begging to be let in. Oh, you're still here, Wilhelm. That's cool. Jeez. I wonder why there's a holo gem here, huh? Would you know that, sir? Sir Knight of Londor? Wonder what Miyazaki is trying to tell us by putting a holo gem on a corpse. Right over here. Very curious. The world may never know. Also, Ariandel, can you like be a little bit more quiet with that? The entwined snakes here. Nothing there. Wait, what's that? God, is that a statue at the tip in the center there? Gosh, I can't tell. It might be. Ah, darn. If that's the case, I want to get a closer look at it. Because it might be like the Irithyll dungeon statues of the robed women, foretelling the... Yeah, stop it. Yeah, that might be a specific image I really want to take a look at. Ah! Okay, let me take a shot of this right now while I still got the chance so I can ask someone later. Yeah, Santa or someone to take a look. I still can't believe they call Europe a continent just because they came up with the system. On a more serious note, what do you do job-wise? Is all your From Soft related stuff your job? No. No, John, not at all. My job is generally as a freelance writer. That is the basics of what I do. And recently I've been moving in under the Loki name with my Abyssal Archive, and hopefully more stuff in the future. Because you guys seem to really like Abyssal Archive, and you guys want sequels, so it's like, okay. Gotta start seriously consider doing sequels then. Obviously, I gotta finish my analysis of Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 first before those can come out, but... It's one of the things where it's like, okay, more and more of my my free time is being dedicated to this. Though, to be fair, because, like, more of this, like, quote-unquote hobby stuff is becoming work, I am sort of like starting to shift it over into work hours now to replace like other stuff, right? As new projects, as old projects are done, and you know, I'm kind of like filling in the gaps that they leave and all that. It is getting to the point now where I can start actually catching up on my anime backlog because oh boy, I got 2 years of that. Oh boy, that's gonna take forever for me to get through, but it's gonna be nice. Really need a free camera. Yeah, I do. Every time you guys tell me that, I can just be like, yeah, free cam would be nice. Okay, we got the camera here. Any other stuff I could possibly want to take a look at? Oh, right, the woman on fire. Let's go get our fire tree woman done. That's sweet. I'm going to college for data science. Oh, that's neat. Are you interested in becoming a pollster or something like that? Or is it more like, are you trying to be more into, just more into the, I don't know how to put it, the research lab kind of thing, where you're kind of just, focusing on that angle? Alright. Hear me out. You die. Oh no. And then I focus on these guys. Perfect. Pretty happy with those shots. May as well get the side profile for completionist's sake. Large Titanite shard. That's fine, I got what I wanted. Why are the wolves here? Because they're not really outcasts, right? Like, they're just wolves. I guess they just kind of found their way in here, kind of like the crabs, right? Because the crabs aren't really outcasts either. So I guess you just have to imagine that some normal stuff also ends up in the painting and kind of is like, hey, this place is cold and cozy. I guess, right? There's also the coins here, right? Yeah, rusted coin right here. Why have the rusted coin here? I guess maybe to remind us about Velka potentially being part of this world? Being involved in the whole painting? Kind of a foreshadowing of, hey, the painting world of Ariandel, if you haven't figured out yet, this place is related to Ariamis and Velka. I guess? Not really convinced, though. Okay. Oh. Wasn't even the wolf I intended to kill. Thanks, Dark Souls 3. Oh. There we go. Okay, anything else that I might want to think over? First off, no wonder you collapsed. Look at that. What is this? What kind of cliff are you? Just whatever pays me, lol. Machine learning and AI seem pretty cool, though. Yeah, that does seem like a pretty cool thing to get into, huh? AI has definitely been really hot lately. I think it's only going to get hotter as the years progress. I recently watched your streams on DS3, and on the first, you said that you try to stay objective on what you say. I somehow think that's what makes your community untoxic. People may like that. Yeah, I do try to at least keep my my content and stuff very like rational and down to earth, right? Like I don't say a lot of the, like I know we're joking about like crazy out there theories, but on a serious note, I really don't. I do have some of the more like mundane and dare I say boring theories out there, right? Like I don't like be like, oh my god, guys, Velka is secretly is she secretly manipulating the Abyss Watchers from behind the scenes, right? And it's all because of this giant conspiracy involving Havel, and Lautrec is suddenly the secret lover there. He's been had a little tryst with Havel after Fina dumped him. Like, I don't have anything like that bizarre or outlandish when I say. Like, I think, like, what's the biggest theories I would say that are like, I'd be like, oh, I'm saying something that's kind of more complicated or like juicy compared to like the bog standard take is probably like Izalith and stuff, right? Because honestly, it's not hard. It's really not hard to have a more interesting take on Izalith than like the stuff the Dark Souls 1 English community had for the longest time, that's for sure. And then like I don't know, maybe like I'm thinking maybe Celavon slash Aldrich kind of, but it's mostly just me clarifying the timeline there, which kind of makes their stuff like inadvertently more interesting. But like a lot of my stuff is pretty like mundane and simple. Like it's like, yeah, you know, like it's not like anything complicated or crazy or doing so. It's like, you know, it's just kind of boring. Like, yeah, this character did this because of very, you know, simple reasons. Well, yada yada yada, and then he did this and that happened and that happened and that happened and of course then that happened, right? Sort of like a chain reaction of just logical deductions. Just kind of weird to think about, but it's just one of those things that since you guys mentioned it is on my mind. I'm surprised that my work is as popular as it is, but I am happy to see that a lot of people are interested in knowing about how the localization errors affect our understanding of the lore. And in general, just you guys coming to these streams. Well, having such interest in the work I'm doing, even like random prep work like this, where I'm kind of just running around, like giving my shower thoughts as I try to kind of organize my own thoughts when I'm doing the final analysis of every little detail of this area. It's just really neat. Anything else we could be missing with regard to the wolves? I can't think of anything. There's the big wolf, but that just tells us that there's an older wolf that's raising the rest of the wolves, which is, well, you know, logical. There's some connection though between that wolf and the champion, right? What did that wolf do? Was it like an Artori situation? I guess. I guess another thing we have to think about is also with Priscilla being the mother for Yorshka and the painter, who's the dad? Do we have any candidates? I guess the champion. He's the only male character I can think of that stands out as possibly. It might also explain why his grave is under Priscilla's tower, potentially. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Are any of the arenas at that tower? Like, is there anything where it's like you can, like, you know, when you, I don't do the PvP, so is there any, like, PvP arena that takes you to that tower? I don't think so, right? My crazy theory, America secretly is Yorshka, but seriously, do anybody believe that it's not more, like, hilarious joke? Jokes are jokes, jokes are fun, but let's be real, yeah. Some people, like I said, sometimes when you hear some takes, it's really hard to tell whether they're being serious or not. I think making simple is what makes it good, right? Like, yeah, like, I think there was a tweet recently where someone was trying to make an argument about, you know, Occam's razor doesn't apply to literature or whatever. I'm like, hello? It wasn't even worth answering. It's like I've got, like, 10 volumes worth of analysis applying Occam's razor of just, hey, here's all the evidence. What's the simplest solution that accounts for all this evidence and remains the most consistent and rational? Okay, that's probably the right answer. Oh, what do you know? It consistently synergizes with all the other stuff that also applies with that same method. Very consistently. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got the data to back up saying that, yeah, it most certainly does apply, at least in Dark Souls' case. I won't speak to all literature because it depends on a case-by-case basis on the author, right? Like some authors, they don't even know what they're writing. They just put out stuff that could be interesting, and then we buy that crap, and we think it has more meaning or interest than it actually has, right? But like Miyazaki's clearly someone who's very deliberate, and he's trying to convey things. It's like a mystery series, right? Like, it amazes me how many people are Lestrades thinking they're Sherlock Holmes. It's absolutely crazy to me. Like do some really in-depth, deep thinking, and don't just like take the first idea that pops into your head and be like, well, yeah, that's definitely right. One thing that always bugs me is a lot of people like will say stuff, but then they don't run the scenario, because the moment you start running that scenario and thinking, okay, does this make sense? What does that do to the characters? What does that do for other events surrounding this statement that they've made? And when they start doing it, it becomes this train wreck where you're just watching things become more and more grinding against other stuff until it just absolutely falls off the rails. And that stuff, that's the kind of thing where it's like, goodness me, like you made something so needlessly complicated when there was a simpler solution if you thought through all the data again. Who's the champion? We don't know. I don't think we get a name, right? All we have is the lion shield with the sword. I was thinking at one point early on maybe could be related to Lothric, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think the lion is just like a symbol of bravery and stuff, so I don't think that's much of a connection. It's not really a dual-wielding weapon, quote-unquote, right, in the truest sense, so I don't think we can really tie it to like, say, other, the hunter characters, like, say, Gotthard and Kamui. So, like, you can't even, like, argue, like, hey, they got twin weapons. It's like, yeah, this is kind of different. I treat some theories only as hilarious jokes, like Godskin Duo soundtrack in Latin. I see it as fun when people use that. Okay, the whole, like, the lyric stuff. Like I said, I'm in contact with Antonius, and he's coming out with a new video soon, which is going to be really good, let me tell you. He's been doing a lot of stuff, because so far, Bloodborne is the only FromSoft game that actually uses legit other foreign languages in its OST lyrics, and it's really, really cool. Like, the Lawrence and the Ludwig stuff is super interesting.
on both on a like purely on like what the actual lore that they're providing is, as well as on like a metatextual level, because like Lawrence's song, for instance, uses cut dialogue from Willem, that was that wasn't included in the final game. So it's like, huh. And they brought it back for his song OST, and I was like, that's a kind of a cool little reference in a way to kind of incorporate that information. Happens way too often, yeah, I know. And that's the problem, right? Like, I always tell people, run the scenario. Like, let's take that tweet happened a while back. For those that don't follow my Twitter, I was retweeting Zuli, because Zuli was having a very, again, by itself, a very interesting tweet talking about other stuff in terms of like inspiration and things of that nature. And basically, as an example, Zuli was bringing up the whole idea of Koss being a beached whale or whatever. And because the whole statement of, Koss washed ashore or whatever, and whatever the English description said, whatever, right? And I just kind of pointed out for Zuli by just retweeting, and I should have known better, right? Because whenever I retweet Zuli, especially when it has to do with lore, I always get lots of activity on my account, but I was not expecting it that day because I'm a moron. Was being like, Koss wasn't washed ashore. Her corpse was abandoned on the coast, right? Like, she was alive, she was killed, her baby was stolen, and the body was abandoned, left behind. Like, someone said, oh, I don't need you anymore, and just leaves you there on the seashore, right? And there's nothing really supporting the beach whale narrative outside of, again, what the English localization says, which is what got people into that frame of reference besides. Plus, it happens to be, of course, there is a Japanese cultural history dealing with, like, beach whale worship and all that. So it's like, it's understandable why people kind of latched onto that. But it's baseless. But most people seem to have just been appreciated the work, or they were naturally very honestly inquisitive and wanted to kind of understand more about like the information and what I was talking about or whatever, and like I answered that. But some people would twist themselves into pretzels to kind of justify, oh yeah, like Gurman, he got on a boat and he went out and he spearfished, and then spearfished Koss, and then Koss washed ashore, and then he went over onto land and took the orphan of Koss out there. It's like, you're literally bending yourself in a pretzel, creating unnecessary extra, like just creating this entire scenario that's completely unnecessary for the interpretation, just in order so you can include this idea of the corpse actually washing onto the shore. It's like, goodness me. Like, it's so astonishing. Some say Cosm. Yeah. Some say Cosm. That's another thing, right? Like, localization doesn't say some say Cosm. Only you say Cosm, Mikolash. Please, stop it. Learn your names. People wonder why Mensis is a bunch of filled with crazy people. Koss, or some say Cosm. I swear, that has to be one of the most memeable phrases in the entire game. That and probably Father Gascoigne going, oh, what's that smell? Oh, the blood. It sings to me. Yeah, I think we've covered all the stuff. I could probably get like bunch of like filler shots and things that I'm missing, but I don't recall them off the top of my head. And I don't want to consult my incomplete outline for the game to kind of figure out what I potentially might need in the future, kinda, sorta, maybe. What was this? Oh, black fire bombs, right? Ladies don't appreciate fire. I think that covers everything though for now, chat. I hate the English translation of these games. Me too. Imagine how I feel. Imagine how I feel. That I felt motivated in order to do a bunch of Reddit posts, then set up my own a bunch of Reddit posts, set up a Twitter account and post through Google Docs, then set up a website to post all the Google Docs and stuff there with pictures that I would get myself, doing my own playthroughs, even playing Dark Souls 2, a game I loathe and would rather see every copy burned in eternal hellfire than play. All of that being done so I could have reference images for a website, which, by the way, took so many months to do because it was absolutely hell, because I'm not a techie, in case you haven't noticed. I'm an idiot. And then did all that, and then have continued doing it for years to the point I've published an entire book on one of the games. Like, goodness me. My unending rage at the localization. Truly, I didn't think it would take me this far, but so it has. Xavier, I saw something interesting on Twitter. Apparently, Gideon's staff has unique reflections depending on the area and time of day. That is interesting. I wonder why. Is it like unique reflections as in like they just had the normal like reflection map, or is it like there's like a unique reflections on like the special orb or something? Kind of curious if it's supposed to be like magical or just like, you know, bog standard stuff. Because I wonder if they had I wonder if that's like a leftover from like them trying to like optimize the game by not having like, hey, we're not gonna have like unique reflections for different times of day because that adds like takes up processing power or some shit, right? Yeah, mountain here, nothing to say here. We know about the crypt. I guess that's an important question. There's a graveyard in front of the library, but there's also the crypt underneath the church here. And I guess technically, like, a little bit over there beside it, but... Who was the crypt burying? We know it didn't end... Maybe it could have buried Priscilla at one point, but we know that Priscilla's buried in Irithyll now. Oh. So who is buried here? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some of the no, because all of this has to be post Ariandel, right? Because he has to restore the painting first. Because my first thought is maybe it's for people before that, but that seems unlikely. Because obviously the idea is that the depths of the painting is like the lower, like the initial layer of the painting that's been painted over with his blood, right? So, and this is all the new layer. So all of this had to be built after. If that's all built after, then I guess it could be that they built the graves here first, and when that graveyard filled up, they started building the crypt out back and built the church on the side as well to operate it, and that became... I guess the question is, when was this church built? Because this church clearly has the bell tower in mind. So when was it that they... When was it they received their quote-unquote prophecy about the ash and the burning? That they decided, okay, we need a bell. Because the bell seems to be used for when a visitor comes, right? It's kind of like a bell, but wait, oh. Oh, no. Oh. No! No! Well, does that count as a Loki stream? As a Loki stream fall? I don't know. I don't know. Every Japanese have questionable translation. Yeah, every item in Dark Souls 1, it feels like there's some translation issue I have to address in Abyssal Archive. Okay. Okay. Souls. Souls, tell me you're over here. Oh no. Oh no. I hope they didn't like go there or something. Nope. I have no idea where my souls went. Oh. Never mind. I figured it out. Well. They seem to have a starry sky. Yeah, they do. The only time we see a starry sky in these games, even though stars, at least by Dark Souls 2, are confirmed to 100% exist in the normal world, is at the very end of the last DLC in Gale's boss room. I can't remember if it's there pre-boss fight, but I think it's definitely there post-boss fight, right? I don't know if that's important. I think I'll add it. I think I'll add it. we'll consider it safe, huh? That's definitely belongs on the list. Wait, Priscilla's buried in Irithyll? Yeah, actually, I'll show you her grave in a sec. I am. Uh, what was the difference between your take on Islith versus the older English community one? Okay, so the standard, I don't know if this has changed in the years since, right? Because Vati's put out a video, right, on with some of my translation stuff he's talked about like a few years back, and I think my take is my translation. The most translation errors I've highlighted, I think, have gotten out into the community. But again, I don't follow what the community actually says most of the time. Like I pretty much stay to my bubble on whatever I work on and just kind of get it out to you guys like a big megaphone. And if you guys listen, great. If you don't, oh well, I tried. But got another 100k before we can do that. Basically, my take on Islith. Sorry. So first, let me see the standard take. The standard take on Islith is, actually, why am I even doing this? I don't want to open the door to get to the bonfire, so we just do this. Okay. The standard take on Islith is, the Witch of Islith and her daughters, they were around with Gwyn, and then they for whatever reason they decided to help him with the dragon hunts or whatever. I guess they're just really nice people, and they go over and they help him, and they do the dragon hunts, and all's hunky dory, right? And everyone's like singing Kumbaya on Islith or whatever, right? And then the witch, toward the end of the Age of Fire, when the first flame is fading, she's super desperate, so she decides she's gonna try to recreate the first flame. In order to try to recreate the first flame that's fading, she fails, and that turns her, she backfires, she loses control, and becomes the bed of chaos, and, oh no, everyone's been transformed into awful, terrible demons, and they're running amok, and they're gonna cause danger and everything, and then good old Gwyn, good, honest, wonderful Gwyn, he does the absolute necessity for all the good of mankind, and sets out and defeats the demons and so all the demons and all that, and then finally he links the fire, whatever, like right after. So it's like that's like the standard take. It's a very simplistic thing of like Islith was desperate because the first flame was fading, and that's why she tried recreating the first flame, ended up creating the chaos flame, which turned her into the monster. Everyone else became these terrible monsters, and blah blah blah. The world's now infested in monsters, so Gwyn has to go in and clean up in order to get rid of the monsters, which is a very simplistic take of Islith and requires you to ignore a lot of environmental evidence, not to mention the whole textual evidence that's been mistranslated, right? And it's mostly based on one item. I guess one piece of dialogue, really, which is from Quelana. And it's when Quelana says, my mother and sisters transformed into, what does the English say, like, terrible creatures or grotesque creatures or malformed creatures or something like that, right? Like, the point is that it's a phrase that many people would interpret, so the bed of chaos plus the fair lady and Quelaag who turned into spider demons. So all of that was them turning into spider demons, and all that was all because of the witch losing control of the first flame and all that. Well, that's not actually what the evidence bears out when you look at it, because what Quelana is actually saying is that my mother and sisters, now keep in mind, when she's saying sisters, she is using explicitly plural, but that only requires two, or at a minimum of two sisters in this case, so it's not necessarily the whole group. And the point is that she says, my mother and younger sisters, again, she's the eldest, so like all of them are younger sisters, but my mother and sisters transformed into a grotesque, a seedbed for grotesque life. This term, a seedbed for grotesque life, of course, refers to the seedbed of chaos. So the idea, which is accurate, when we go there, we actually do see that it is comprised of the mother, who's like the little bug in the center, along with two of the daughters. You have the two staves, which mirror in the opening cinematic when we see the witch and her daughters in a circle, with the ones closest to her lifting up each lifting up a staff. Again, in like a ceremonial kind of performance type of deal. So again, we actually can confirm, okay, yeah, the bed of chaos is in fact the witch and two daughters. But again, that doesn't include Quelaag and the Fair Lady. And again, Quelaag was transformed. It was that she just transformed. Again, and from what we can tell, by all accounts, it's completely her will. She's willingness. She's all more than happy to be a demon, right? And like, again, just the general idea of demons being these mindless monsters and stuff, that doesn't show. They clearly show a lot of intelligence, a lot of restraint and planning and work and stuff like that. So it's just a completely oversimplified version to account of, like I said, that one line from Quelana, because it makes everyone have to think that it has somehow all the transformations and things involved with Izalith have to somehow all happen at once, and the only time they can peg that is at the really end of the timeline with the first flame. And again, purchase my book Abyssal Archive. I go over that stuff in I go over all that stuff in painstaking detail for Izalith, because there's so much to comb through, and it's just my take is essentially, to give the short version, is that the Witch of Izalith has her daughters very young. First, they're like studying like dark and stuff, but then eventually they find the first flame, and that's when she gets really obsessed with fire. And she ends up, of course, creating flame sorcery and all that. And then she's helping Gwyn and her Lord Soul is, of course, the life soul, right? It deals with life. It ends up creating a flame of life. We call it, of course, the flame of chaos, because, that's the nature of life, is chaotic chaos. So the point being is that she helps Gwyn in the dragon hunts, because Gwyn basically besides Gwyn threatening to maybe demolish her and destroy them both if she doesn't cooperate, is basically the promise of, hey, we'll take the heads as trophies, you can get the rest of the bodies, so you can study the dragons as sort of your specimens into studying life, the origins of life, how to create new life, etc., things of that nature. And so she agrees, she helps, they do that. And then she continues experimenting into what we see in the opening cinematic and stuff, into the creation of chaos. She eventually succeeds. Again, this is much earlier in the timeline, well before the first flame fades. And then she ends up she loses control, transforms into the bed of chaos, ends up wreaking havoc and destruction across Izalith. But this is before there was the Stone City, which we now see in ruins in Izalith. And this Stone City... Thank you. So happy you revealed yourself. Same here, buddy. This Stone City and stuff is what was built afterward, because eventually the Bed of Chaos, the Witch of Izalith, regains control of the Chaos Flame, and with the new Chaos Flame under her control, she's now creating demons. The first demons was Ceaseless Discharge, which was, she was pregnant at the time with him in her belly when she was performing the ritual, which is likely why that ritual quote-unquote succeeded that time, to be honest. But anyway, that's another separate story with Jeremiah and stuff. But anyway, the focus is, again, here's Priscilla's grave, by the way, for those who want to know. Little Corvian praying to the giant grave here. For those that don't know, the Church of Yorshka is literally in the exact same position where the Ariamis painting gallery was in Dark Souls 1. So it's clear the idea is, hey, let's bury her in her quote-unquote homeland, as it were. And then the Witch of Izalith, after gaining control of the flame and starting creating new demons, which she now, again, by her will, controlling it, they start teaching the Fire Sages flame sorcery, but then they develop pyromancy, so then flame sorcery becomes obsolete. And pyromancy now is what's being taught to demons and humans who are coming to this new city of Izalith that they're building up now. Now we get the big urban city and ruins and stuff like that, and there's this thriving human-demon medial civilization existing there, with the witches kind of as these shaman gods type of deal. And then eventually what happens is, toward the end, when the first flame is fading and stuff, and the flame's about to imminently fade and stuff like that, when we're approaching that level, almost eclipse levels of, hey, things are getting bad, that's when Izalith decides that she's going to, hey, I'm gonna, if you lose your first flame, well, it doesn't really matter to me because I got my own first flame, and maybe we'll have an age of chaos, right? So she's basically she decides she's going to challenge the gods of the other gods' authority, and basically strike out on her own, cuts off contact with Anor Londo and stops doing any dealings with them, basically tells Gwyn, hey, your power is about to fade, bitch, what are you going to do about it? And while Gwyn then raises an army with a bunch of armor and weapons made specifically to deal with the Chaos Demons and their fire, and, well, he wrecks house, kills all the human population, and once all the humans are dead, there's no longer any problems of the demons, they're no longer going to have any humanity that they can just spend all willy-nilly or anything like that. They're not going to have new demon warriors they can create out of the humans. They lose architects and a bunch of other things. So basically, by decimating the human population in Izalith, completely destabilize the civilization. They never truly recover after that, as Dark Souls 3 shows. But basically, Gwyn then creates a pact with the demons, so it's you stay to your territory, we'll stay to ours, and we won't bother each other, and basically leaves Izalith for a slow demise so he can focus on the thing that he really cares about, which is, the first flame fading. He's got to figure out a way how to stop it, which again leads to the fire linking. So that's my take, and as you can see, I had to be a little longer there because, again, it's a more complicated situation, and again, like I said, it's a lot more of an interesting interesting bunch of events, and like I said, it's just there's so much to go through, so much to break down and talk about. So like I said, buy my book Abyssal Archive, both digital or physical editions. Either is fine, maybe both if you're really feeling like you want to splurge. It's a great book on everything Dark Souls 1. Anyway, okay, now I can continue. I meant the staff reflections, but that's cool too. Yeah, actual staff stuff, huh? Do you think the dragon is the dragon in the Ancient Dragon Mary, Duke Dear Freya, is the everlasting dragon? As in the everlasting dragon you're talking about from Dark Souls 1? If so, no. The dragon in the Ancient Dragon Memory, the one we see at least, the corpse that we loot the soul from, that one is the same dragon we see in the present era before we enter the memory. If you look up, it's the giant dragon corpse that's suspended by Freya's webs. That's the dragon who we find in the memory. Now, you can make an argument on whether that dragon's memory is what we're looking through, or if it's actually Seath's memory of that dragon that we're looking at. Kind of similar to how in Old Iron King's memory, we don't actually see Old Iron King, we just see kind of events adjacent to him. Because again, we have to keep in mind that these memories we explore, they're not just us looking through memories, they're us time traveling, essentially. We use the power of fog to kind of erase the boundary between what the memory remembers and the reality of the actual event, which kind of facilitates like a bridge to time travel, which is a very interesting concept in itself. But basically, the idea is, of course, it's possible that we're actually looking at Seath's memory, because Seath's the one who collected that dragon, seems to have magically preserved it, and is now, of course, by possessing Freya, digging it back up to continue his research into obtaining stone scales, right? And even after we defeat Freya, we can't get his great soul, quote unquote. Like, we don't embrace his great soul. Again, this is before New Game Plus, which just lets us have a standard boss soul we can use. But the idea with the Great Soul Embraced is that we have to actually walk to a spot under the dragon corpse that's been suspended in order to embrace the soul. And where that Great Soul was embraced, we'll actually see a crystal, a giant crystal arise under that, which again makes sense because again, Seath, crystallization, all that stuff. So it kind of gives you the idea that Seath's soul is still operating. Like, he's so desperate that he doesn't even care that Freya is dead. Like, his soul kind of like jumps off his body popping thing and just kind of reaches for his specimen. To classic Seath. And then the memory we enter is from where we see that crystal form. Hence why I'm saying it could be Seath's memory we're actually exploring. That he's the archdragon who whose memory we're looking at. Not the dragon who's of course a corpse and whose soul has been already looted by us in the past, thanks to the memory in the future. Oh, God, time travel is so weird. Anyway. Ceaseless Discharge is the worst name. Yes, it's a very weird localization choice, because the Japanese means, like, the one who's continually sore. Yeah, like, you know, like, sore, you know, kind of like, almost like an ulcer. It's, almost like a ulcer or something like that, right? So, like, the idea of, like, you know, he's got that giant gaping sore, that hole that we see where, constantly bleeding lava. It just feels weird that they just call him Ceaseless Discharge. Like, I could even accept it if he was called the Ceaseless Discharge, because at least there's this idea of nominalization there, but they just call him Ceaseless Discharge. That's not a person, that's a thing. That's a concept. Honestly, I think they tried with Ceaseless Discharge's name. It's very memorable at the very least. I agree, that is true. It is a memorable name. I just think it's memorable for the wrong reasons. That's a sad fate for Priscilla. Well, I mean, it depends. How did she die? That's the big question. How did she die when she's in the painting world, which should theoretically be the safest place? That's something my analysis is going to have to tackle, if I can figure out what was her cause of death. Because the problem with a lot of the gods and characters like Priscilla... Stop. Thank you. Is we don't have a lot of information on why they're dead. Like, why did so many of the gods die? Like, I can only think there was some sort of cataclysmic battle or something. But it's really hard because I don't see too much evidence for it. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's like we only get to see the aftermath, so we kind of don't get a lot of hints or indications of the events themselves. Very much like, say, the Gwyn's Queen scenario, right? Like it's one of those things where the absence is more telling than the actual, like the dearth of information is more telling than actual information. Yeah, that's gonna be a question, huh? Because it makes sense why Yorshka would come and bring the body, along with possibly, like, say, others here, because presumably these people buried here, we don't see a formal graveyard in Irithyll, so it's actually curious if this is like where everyone in Irithyll is buried, or if it's just people from the painting world. I would want to say people from the painting world because I talked about before how these two graves were possibly upturned, and that's why we find corpses with fading souls up here. Like people, maybe these were Irithyll slaves, like the two we saw hiding there, who were looted They're so desperate for sustenance that they loot the corpses for souls here, even though they're faded from long time being buried. That's something I'm thinking, maybe, and that these are all old people from Ariandel who came with Yorshka as like an escort. But the problem is you could say the same thing for anyone in Irithyll who's been around for a while, because Irithyll has been, of course, around for much of Lothric's history, and Lothric's a decently old country. I don't mean it's bad. I bought your book, the physical one. That's cool. I'm very happy to hear that, John. I can't wait to hear your impressions once you read it, or at least I guess you already started, but finish reading it. A lot of everyone who's read it so far has given me the impression that they're always surprised by how much information is in there and how interesting of a read it is. Which, I'll be honest, I take that as the highest of compliments. I tried my hardest to make it. I know it's a very detailed research book, but I tried to make it as reader friendly as I could while not compromising on information. Same, pre-ordered Abyssal too. Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to start receiving it. Yeah, actually, if you got the physical one... Actually, if you pre-ordered the physical one, you might have gotten the digital copy, and you could start reading it. But yeah, if you got the physical, you probably haven't read the physical version for sure yet. But yeah, so like when that stuff gets delivered, I think quarter 3 or quarter 4 is what we're listing on the buy page right now for you guys. I'll be honest, because of supply chain issues and stuff, we don't know exactly. We can't like give you a firm date on when we're gonna be able to ship it out. But if you guys are like following the updates and stuff, it's coming out really nice, guys. I'm really happy. Like the publisher is really committing to quality on this, and I can tell you this: the publisher has a very personal, deep love for Dark Souls 1, so they're working like extra hard to make sure that this is gonna be a book you're happy to own on your shelf. Is Velka still around? Yes, she is. She's currently under the identity of Keitha. Basically, her and Lloyd have always been kind of like oil and water, right? She's by her nature heretical. He is very orthodox. So there was always friction between them in Dark Souls 1. It looks like that probably came to a head in Dark Souls 3. But Velka being Velka, she went to her grandson Gwendolyn and was like, hey, maybe it'd be a good time for you to, conveniently reveal that you're a guy and that you're therefore you're the only legitimate heir to the Allfather title, to being the chief god. And well, what do you know? Gwendolyn did it. Now, of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that Velka was pushing him for no. It just conveniently worked out that way that, suddenly Lloyd finds himself caught flat-footed and completely deposed and overthrown because his grandnephew, I think? Yeah, great-grandnephew probably, right? Because he's Gwyn's uncle, yeah. His great-grandnephew comes out as a dude, and then just swipes all his power and authority away from him. And all the while, suddenly Velka, under her alternate identity, Keitha, who's much more PR-friendly as a god of tears instead of goddess of sin, suddenly slinks her way into Carim, the country Velka used to be hold dominion in. and suddenly ends up finding herself being the number 2 in the Way of White. It's like funny how that all just worked out in Velka's favor, right? Like, it's totally not a plan though, guys. Velka is totally not a very smart and conniving witch. I read the entire digital. It was epic. Oh, I'm really, really happy to hear that. I'm glad you loved it. I'm so happy with how it came out. And we're doing like a few tweaks. Like we're like including like some stuff, like little stuff we couldn't fit in the book originally with the manuscript, but now we found places for it, and like little like typo corrections and stuff like that. By the way, Guts, if you remember any like typos or something that during your read, feel free to forward them to me. I'll make sure that I have that fixed before the physical print ships. Again, like that's what we're working on right now. It's like, okay, are there any last minute changes we need to do to this manuscript before we send it to like the Italians and have them get the book printed? Because we want that first print to be as A+ quality as we can get it. Here's going to Dark Souls 2 and 3 books. Yeah, when I finish my stuff on Dark Souls 3, and probably I might actually finish with 2 first, honestly, just because, like, especially with the recent splurge I've been doing this month of Dark Souls 2 posts, I just might end up being like, because the only major topic after Shulva, which I'm hopefully coming out with by next week, is going to be Ilium Lois, and then the rest of it's really small stuff, so I might be able to like zip through that stuff real quickly, because I can't think of any super major topics besides Ilium Lois that I haven't already covered. Yeah, I can't think of it, but like, yeah, so like once that's all covered with that, 2's gonna be done, so therefore I can always do an Abyssal Archive 2 then. And then 3, like I said, we're working on Ariamis right now. Londor's still out there. Ring City's got to get done. There's probably a few like minor stuff, but I think I've covered most of the characters in this game at this point. Like what's a topic? A not small topic that I could still cover. Yeah, no, I think like I said, I've almost covered them. Like, God, I'm almost done with Dark Souls 2 and 3. So that basically just leaves Bloodborne. Bloodborne's about halfway done. I have to do a bunch of revisions to my post, though, now that I've played the game. And then, yeah, and then I gotta do write the rest. Again, I'm still mad that I lost Blood's Beginning, but again, that's my fault. Well, okay, it's half my fault, to be fair. But, either way, I am to blame. I will take the full fault there, and I'm gonna have to rewrite that entire post. Ugh. I'll have to make it even better than the original 15 pages. Top tier anime plot for Velka. Yeah, Velka's just great. Like, again, Guts would know this, but if you read, like, Abyssal Archive, you just, like I said, Velka's bae, you just don't know it yet. That's my motto on Twitter, and I stand by that statement. Like, Velka's just such a wonderfully fascinating character. She's the real hero of this story. Anyway, guys, I'm thinking we're about to wrap up because I've just been, like, I love talking to you guys, but, like, I'm doing nothing productive here at this point. I can't think of anything that I really, really need to get besides what we got at the beginning of the stream. So let me think. Is there anything in Irithyll that I want? No, again, I need to, like, look into the cheat engine thing and see if I can get a free cam working. And then I'll just, like, I'm never going online anyway, but I do want to, like, kind of make sure, like, just in case I don't accidentally get myself banned, because, I don't know, I accidentally put myself online for, like, a random thing that someone wants me to do with them or whatever, right? So I just gotta make sure that I get all that worked out, and then maybe I can have a free cam so I can get all the shit that flows right next to the cathedral. And then, what other shots do I want that doesn't involve that? I got all the stuff I want for Undead Settlement. Like I said, the stuff for Ariamis will probably come back when I actually, like, know, like, exactly what I need for Ariandel. Gosh. No, I think we got it. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think we're just gonna end it then. Ay, ay, ay. Can't believe characters like Velka and Lloyd that we don't even know what they look like have so much story and importance to the series lore. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, it's amazing. Like, this is why I think when people, like, criticize Dark Souls storytelling, they don't understand that Dark Souls doesn't do stories like, say, a book or a film. I guess books sometimes could do something like this, though I don't think to the same extent as what Dark Souls has been able to accomplish. But like books and films and like TV shows and stuff, there's stuff that's very much a visual medium, but it's always limited by the camera, right? So the onus is on the director and the on what exactly they choose to focus on a given scene, right? This is why we don't like it when stories don't give us proper foreshadowing or setup or indication or hints, even if they're super subtle and we don't notice it on a first viewing or something. It has to be one of those things that's like, it's all there. It feels believable to the world. It doesn't feel like it's an ass pull or whatever, right? Because if you're trying to say, oh, all this stuff happened off screen or whatever, well, why didn't you, the person with the camera, put any focus on that stuff then? Why is it something that you're just telling us that happened, out of view of the camera? Like, that's the type of thing that we don't like. But in a video game, it's completely different, right? Because you are the director. You control the camera. Obviously, it's rooted to your character, so there's limitations, but you decide what you look at and how long you look at it, what you focus on. And I think that's where Dark Souls and Miyazaki really touches on something that's unique to the video game medium. If you're interested in a story, you don't need to have the story fed to you constantly with endless exposition that writers go to great lengths to try to make sound natural, when they try, in order for you to get all the necessary information for you to be able to follow along with their story. Dark Souls just says, I'm going to create a world. It exists. It breathes. And if you don't care to look at it, that's fine. It's going to exist all the same. But if you do try to look and you try to see and you read all the little item text and stuff that will give you the little bit of exposition, right, on like items and things, and you kind of start looking at the story and thinking it through, you're going to be able to find so much you can learn about characters and characterizations and how things relate and synergize and like how these events kind of play into these events and kind of creates this interesting little collage of chain of reactions, right? It just sort of builds on itself. And that's just something that only video games can do, I think. You really can't do that in other medium because the interactivity, that ability for you to control where you go in this world and what your camera looks at, I think that is just something that's so special and what makes Dark Souls games like an video game art that can only exist because it's a video game. Anyway, not to get all artsy and philosophical or whatever, but that's it. So we're going to close things down here, guys. Again, this was just a casual stream for me trying to get more screenshots and stuff. I ended up staying a little longer than I was expecting, honestly, for this. It was great because you guys always bring such interesting conversation to the stream. So thank you so much, okay? So bye, people. Be safe. Until next time. Ciao.